Hi, guys. Welcome to the first ever Yin and Yang Sisters podcast with Jean.
And Izzy.
This week, we are going to dive into a bunch of random questions to help you guys get to know us. So let's begin. All
All right,
right.
I'll go ahead and start off with the first question. Okay, miss, want to talk? Just kidding.
Go ahead. Go
The
ahead.
very first question is, why did we decide to start a podcast?
hmm so I actually back in like 2020, that was when like all the rage with podcasts was like really starting, I feel like, because, everybody was home and it was like pandemic. So it gave people something to listen to. And so I actually really wanted to start a podcast then, jump on the bandwagon. I know. And it was then that I was like, oh, I want to start a podcast, but I don't know with who. And I was just like, okay, I'll just do one with my husband, Ong. And so we were kind of in the process. We bought mics, we bought the whole setup and stuff. Um, but then it just never went through because I don't know, I just felt like we didn't have like my husband, he's very private, I feel like, or kind of more private than I am. And so it never came to fruition. Is that the right word? It never came about. And so years later, I felt like I had a lot to say. I don't know. And I felt like our conversations, like me and you, Izzy, I felt like they could be entertaining because I'm not gonna lie, you're pretty funny. And like sometimes you say some funny ass shit and like taglines or like phrases. And so I was like, I feel like this could be interesting. And obviously I love like the whole sister dynamic. So then that's when I was like, hey Izzy, you want to do a podcast with me? And luckily you were on board. So yeah, that's
So
why
here we
I wanted to
are.
do it, is because I felt like I wanted to allow myself to have a platform to talk about things in my life or issues, or I don't know. I just felt like I have a lot to say and felt like it would really allow me to be able to do that. So yeah, that's why I wanted to start a podcast. What about you?
So very kind of similar but different. I also thought about starting a podcast as well, not necessarily in 2020, but kind of after that.
Yeah.
But I just didn't really know like what I would really talk about or who would be interested in my podcast, like who would be interested in listening to me, whatever.
Yeah.
So like I had come up with like a bunch of ideas, like Jane could probably tell you all about it, but basically I had a bunch of ideas about like segments, about special guests, about things that I could potentially talk about, and it just never really came to life.
hmm
I don't have all the fancy equipment and stuff like that, like Jean does, but so I never actually fully invested into it. But yeah, but I'm just working with what I've got, so we're here and that's what we're doing. So,
All right. So the next question is, what is the meaning behind our podcast name? And I'll just let you answer
yes.
this.
Okay, so our podcast name is a play off of our last names, as many of you know. But if you don't know, our last name is Yang, although I'm the only one whose legal last name is Yang anymore,
I knew
since my
you were
sister
going to
is
give me crap
married.
about this. I knew you were going
But
to give me crap about this.
she's still a Yang at heart, so I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, yin and yang. So it is a play on our last name, yes, but it also very much matches our personalities. So when you think about yin and yang, you think about opposites and how they sort of balance each other. And that's very much what we are to each other as sisters. Like we are both so different in some aspects, like especially some of our personality and also where we are in life at the moment, but we still balance each other out very nicely, which is kind of what we wanted to bring out in this podcast as well, is to show different points of view based off of our own experiences in life
Yeah.
and just like who we are. I mean, we're still, a lot of people say we're way too different, but we're also very much the same. And I think that's because of the balance. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of the meaning behind our podcast name, not only the play on words, but just the actual yin and yang part of it is that we're, a good balance in each other as sisters.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
All right. The next question, I think we're just gonna go in some random order. Um, what are some of the similarities and differences between the two of you?
Oh,
Or the two of us, I
well,
guess.
for sure, I'm very punctual. I'm very like on time. I'm very on time. I'm very like very much like in that mindset of like earlier is better. And then you, Izzy, you are complete opposite. You're like an hour late to everything. Um,
It's
yeah,
something I'm
it's just
working.
and
It's
it's
something
so
I'm
funny.
working on.
And it's so funny when we're together because obviously we are long distance, and so when we are together, it's just funny to see that dynamic, you know, together when we're together is because I'm always like
Yes.
waiting on you and I'm like, oh my God, where is this fish? Like, she's taking so long. And then you're always like, whenever you're finally like ready, you're like, oh my gosh, so many things happen. I'm running late like always. And it's just so funny. But yeah, that's definitely something that we're like very different in terms of us as people. But I also feel like maybe you're a little bit more social than I am as well. I feel like you're a social butterfly compared to me because we be like whenever we're together, Izzy be like saying hi to 500 million different people, and I'm just sitting there like next to her, like, oh yeah, I'm her sister, like waiting for her to finish saying hi to all these people that I don't know. So I feel like, yeah, you're definitely more of a social butterfly than me. Um, but yeah, I feel like those are like some major um differences, I feel like.
I wouldn't
Sorry,
say
gotta adjust.
necessarily that I'm more social. I mean, I don't know. I consider myself more as like an introverted extrovert. There are a
Ambivert.
lot of times, sure. I don't like to be out all the time. I do like to have my moments of solitude and peace. I do like to stay at home, be a homebody sometimes. Other times I want to get out and do stuff, but I
Hmm.
wouldn't necessarily say when it comes to actually meeting new people that I'm very open to it.
Yeah,
I'm very still kind of nervous and shy.
yeah. I guess
So
it just
yeah, but
depends, like the environment and who's around.
yes.
Um, but you're definitely, I feel like, a lot more friendlier than me.
Yeah,
Not to say
I
that I'm
guess
not
so.
friendly, but I just feel like you're more open to being friendly, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that um I think like both of us are bold in our own sense.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to certain things, we can be very bold and out there. But I think it's only really, and we both like encourage each other to really be bold and get out there, but in very different scenarios. So for
Yes.
example, I'm always telling you to be like, oh, like go do stuff, go do more stuff by yourself, like be bold and like go and, you know, even if On can't go with you, like go adventure on your own because that's
Yeah.
like a big thing with me. And I would be like, yeah, you should go do that. But then oppositely, like what you would say to me is you would encourage me to like go out there and like meet more guys
Put
and
yourself out
like
there.
go out
Yeah.
there, put yourself out there and take a risk and all that stuff. So in different, we are very
Bold.
encouraging, but in different
Yeah.
aspects, and we're also very bold in helping each other get there.
Yeah.
Maybe you more so because, oh my gosh, there have been so many times where I've been like mortified by some things that you've done or said to like
Try to get
help
you out
me get
there.
the attention of like a guy or something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, calm down, girl.
Yeah.
So So, I think that's how we're similar in some ways, but we're also very similar in that we've gone through a lot of things together in terms of like, through childhood, we went through a lot of things together.
Hmm.
And back then, it was hard to really see. that we were going through it together. I mean, we did go through it together, but it was hard for us to be there for each other because we just wanted to know like what the heck was going on in a lot of our childhood. But
Mm-hmm.
then, as we grew older and we were able to reflect on that together, it was like good that we had each other through all of that, even though we didn't really understand at the time what was going on, and then how that affected us in the future, and how we can
Yeah.
still continue to be there for each
Well,
other.
on
So,
this topic, I guess, the next question is how has our relationship changed from childhood to obviously adulthood now? Um, and I guess you kind of started to touch base on that, but I feel
mhm.
like for me, my thoughts on this is obviously I feel like growing up, we were close, but I always felt like we weren't as close as like sisters, like we're supposed to be, I guess, because I always felt like, we went to different elementary schools. Like we didn't go to the same elementary schools, so we didn't really get that aspect of like being at the same school together. And then I just felt like we also um just had like different ways of how we handled things as like kids, you know? I felt like I was, and I still am the same in some aspects, but I'm very like to myself, I feel like. And then like with you, it was like I feel like you hung out with our cousins a lot more. Not to say that we all didn't, but like you built more of like that friendship level with all of them. Um, but I feel like definitely as we grew up into teenage years, we like despise each other for a bit.
Yeah, I didn't like you.
Yeah, and I felt like we despise each other for a little bit during that period because obviously teenage
I definitely
hormones.
say yes. That was a time when we fought the most,
Yes.
definitely.
Oh, and it was just
Especially
over
like
typical
sibling
sister.
stuff,
Yeah.
sister things.
Yeah. Um, but I also feel like I was going through a lot of different things and different emotions, and I didn't really know how to process those things too. And then you also handled certain situations we were put in very differently than I did too. So I feel like that alone kind of had us at adrift with each other.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
we were definitely forced to be in the same space all the time with each other, but there
yeah,
was a wedge.
yeah,
And it was hard to like unhook that wedge. And that
yeah.
really didn't come out until you got married and you moved away. And I think honestly, for the very first year that you were married, it was especially hard
Yeah.
because, like, I know in that first year of marriage, you had to move to like a completely different state, and so you were just like very lonely. Not saying that like there was anything necessarily wrong at that time, but first year of marriage is really hard, and when you don't have someone in your circle who's close with you or who's like physically there with you to help you out, it's harder. And so
Yeah.
um you know during that first year it was hard for you, but it was also like hard for us both because we didn't really know how to navigate around that.
Hmm.
And I just felt like we were talking a lot and a lot and a lot, and it felt like it was too much. And then I
Yeah.
remember we had like in your first year of marriage, we had this really big fight, and we didn't talk to each other for like 2 weeks.
I
And
honestly
then
don't even
eventually,
remember.
yeah, it was bad. Like I remember, I won't get into specifics about it, but
Maybe
yeah,
this
we had
should
like
be
this
a topic we should talk
huge
about.
fight. Yeah, some
Go
other
into
time.
details later, but
Yeah,
we
but
had
we
a
had this
fight.
huge fight in like your first year of marriage, and we didn't talk for a few weeks. And then, because we were both like just super upset at each other, we were like yelling at each other over the phone. It was really bad. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, and then eventually our mom, she was like, you only, you don't get to choose your siblings. You only have the siblings that you've got. You don't get
Hmm.
more, you don't get less. So, you need to work it out. So
Yeah.
I called you and we talked about it, and then now
Hashed it
we're
out.
okay. And
Yeah.
we know how to like, I think, communicate better.
Hmm.
Um, I truly do believe sometimes that distance does make the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
um, because
For
us
sure.
two needing our own space but constantly being in the same space was so hard for
Hmm.
us.
Yeah,
um,
and I don't know, I just feel like at least for me, like I moved, I didn't have anyone up here really. Like I had Gloria, granted, but like our cousin Gloria, but it was just really hard to navigate like integrating with a new family and like kind of understanding how their family works and then like also just feeling really lonely. So it was just a big like transition for me, and I feel like I really leaned on like you guys a lot to like help me get through it, and I think that's why our relationship is like so much better now. um is because I feel like, we really like, for both of us, like we really heavily like rely on each other to like get through the hard shit. Um so yeah. I feel like we're definitely like at our
we're in a
closest.
yeah, we're in a
Yeah.
much better place now. I mean, we're doing a
Yes.
podcast together for Christ's
Yeah.
sake. So, clearly like our relationship has built on it's built a lot, and especially when we're adults now, we look back at like why we didn't get along back then. We can kind of
Yeah.
see. So, we're both like just really good at self-reflecting now, and, like
Yeah.
seeing, what happened. So, I think it's really great.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Let me see if there's a random one that I want to do.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay, this is just going to be a fun one. What is your go-to karaoke song? And I picked this one because I love to karaoke,
I
but
know
you can
that's
answer first.
I know it's so funny because you're like big on karaoke, and I have only ever karaokeed when we like went with all of our cousins. But like you go like more way more than I ever would. But to answer your question, I would probably say like anything Disney. I feel like is like anything Disney. For sure, like I won't say I'm in love. I feel like I don't really sing by myself, I guess, when I go karaoke. I feel like I like to sing with like as a group. That's just me because I feel like I do not have a good singing voice. So, and I know karaoke is just to like troll for the most part,
Yeah,
but I just like to sing with others so they can mask my horrid voice. But yeah, I would say probably like I Won't Say I'm in Love is a good one. The Hercules
yeah.
song. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Any Disney, I think, suits you. I was kind of surprised. I thought you would say something like Taylor Swift or whatever, because
I mean, I'm
I
a
don't know.
Swiftie. I love Taylor Swift, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's why I was
You
like,
just can't
I
go
was
wrong with
totally
Disney.
thinking, I was totally thinking that you're gonna pick something Taylor Swift. But yeah, Disney is good too. I mean, yeah, you can't go wrong with Disney.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, my go-to karaoke song, like I said, I go karaoke a lot,
Yeah.
and I always go with John, who's our cousin, if you
Your
guys didn't know
BB.
that. And we always go, I wouldn't say we always go, we probably go like once every few months. So
Hmm.
we make a big night of it. It's really fun. And one of our go-to songs, or the songs that we always, always sing, is Faithfully by Journey. And
What's that
so if we were
song?
to ever sing the
Have I
song,
heard it?
yes, of course you have.
I'm trying. I
It's
like
also
it's.
on Glee. It's I don't want to sing it. Trust me though, you've heard
I'm
it.
pretty sure I
It's not
probably know
Don't
it. I
confuse it with
just
Don't Stop Believing, but it's a different one.
okay.
It's
Okay.
more of a ballad though, and
Mm,
so we really like that one. So we always sing that one together, and then we also sing a lot of Adele. I mean, we have a very good range of songs that we sing when we
pick.
go to
Yeah.
karaoke. But yeah, my go to is always Faithfully by Joey.
Interesting. All right, I will pick a question now. Oh, if you could live anywhere, where would it be?
That is a good question. If I only had to pick one place, I mean, if I could live in multiple places, I would.
Hmm.
Like if I had a lot of money, I would buy like a house in multiple places. I think though, if I could live anywhere, at least in the US, with no restrictions, it probably would be Hawaii. I loved
Ooh,
Hawaii. Yeah. I
Hawaii.
mean, I've only been to Kauai,
Yeah.
but I loved it. It was
You
really
want to live your
peaceful.
best Bretman Rock life.
Yeah. It was so pretty and really peaceful. I mean, I think the groceries are a little limited and like the roosters waking you up at 5 in the morning is a little much, but like other than that, it was really, really, really nice.
Yeah.
I would probably live in Hawaii. Maybe not Kauai, but
See, you've been to Kauai, I've been to Oahu. So I feel like they're different, very different. Like Oahu is definitely more like city-esque. I mean there like there's a big city-esque part of it, and then like there's also kind of like more like Hawaii where it's like open kind of farm life, beachy vibes. So I feel like it's kind of best of both worlds, but yeah. I feel like for me, if I could live anywhere, you're gonna think I'm so annoying because you hear about it so much.
oh my gosh, I
Definitely
already know
Oregon
what you're gonna say.
Coast. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely Oregon Coast. I anytime like Ong and I are ever at the Oregon Coast, I'm always like, it'd be so great to like live in a small town and like, you know, live at the coast because like I love Oregon Coast so much. So mine would definitely be Oregon Coast without a doubt. And
Yeah,
I
I
know it's
thought
stupid.
you're gonna say that or you're gonna say Colorado. I felt like you're gonna say one of those two. And I was gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
I
girl,
know.
pick
That's why I was
something
like, I
else.
know it sounds stupid because like obviously I live in Oregon, but I don't know,
The coast
just
though
like
is a very different vibe than
yeah,
Portland. So,
definitely. But yeah, for sure. All
let's
right, the
see.
next question you want to ask?
Let's see. Um, do you believe in astrology? And what is your sign?
Oh, for sure. I believe in astrology. And my sign is a Pisces. I am a fish, which is just so ever fitting for me because I drink a lot of water. If you know, you know, I drink a lot of water. So it's just fitting for me. But yes, I do believe in astrology. I'm one of those bitches that
Do you know your like moon sign, rising sign, and all that stuff?
no, I don't. I've always tried to like figure that out, but like they always tell
Well,
me like, oh,
okay.
you have to pay. Yeah,
No,
because what
so you just have to know basically like what time you were born, and then you'll be able to you can just look it up. I mean, I never had to pay. I mean, I looked up mine, although I don't think I'm as huge of like an astrology person as you. I mean, I do believe in like a lot of Capricorns and stuff like that, which is what I am.
yeah.
We share a lot of the same similarities and traits and stuff like that, but I don't think that just because I have a certain star sign that I'm destined to be with somebody, or because
Mm,
I have a star sign and whoever my partner may be in the future, they have a certain one, like that determines whether or not we're compatible. I don't think it's like based solely off of that, but
yeah.
because some people take it to that degree. And if you do, then that's fine, but that's just not really
I
my
don't
view.
necessarily believe in that too. I mean, I think it's
I
just a
think
coincidence that Ong
it's
and
just
I,
fun, but
yeah,
it's not that serious,
I
you
think
know.
for me, it's not that I believe you have to end up with like a sign that you get along with, right? But it's just a coincidence that Ong and I, our signs are like match made in heaven. So, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely a big believer in like the traits. Like you can possess a lot of those traits,
Similar
like
traits, yeah.
yeah, like if you're a Pisces, like for me, I'm a Pisces, I possess a lot of the Pisces traits, and then like for you, you're a Capricorn. I feel like you embody everything that a Capricorn like, is. And so I definitely believe in that sort of sense. I'm not saying somebody that's a Capricorn can't be complete opposite, right? But
Right.
I definitely do notice like your sign matches who you are. And I do feel like I know who I get along with, if you
Yeah.
know what I mean. I
But
know
I
what
also
other
feel like
signs.
too, yeah, I feel like too though, some people they take it too far. Like I think
Hmm.
we're very good at just being like, oh, this is just for fun, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
But some people be like, oh, I'm a bad person, but it's okay because I'm a Scorpio or I'm a whatever. I'm like, no,
yeah.
that's like your your zodiac sign's not your personality trait. Let's calm down.
Yes.
But I mean, it's funny because like yes, you share similar traits with other Capricorns, but
Hmm.
like or I might with other Capricorns or you might with other Pisces, but like
You're also very
there's other
different from each
factors into it.
other.
It's not
Yeah,
just you're not just like that because like there's other things that influence it. So let's calm down, people.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I had a chance though to look at my rise because I was just curious. I was also reading this book too at the store because I was just looking at new ones and I was looking at this one that had zodiac astrology in it. So I
Ooh.
guess my sun sign is Capricorn. That's like the main sign that you are. And then depending on
Hmm.
what time you were born, it determines the other ones, like your
Isn't it like the
rising sun
time?
and your moon sign.
Isn't it like the time and location too, or something like that that
Yes.
determines?
So
Yeah,
it's like
okay.
the time that you were born and the location that you were born. And so based off of the time I was born and location, my moon sign, which is kind of like, I guess your moon sign, I don't know if I'm going to say this correctly, but it's kind of like your sun sign is like what you're the main one, right? So
Yeah,
mine's Capricorn. And then your
yeah.
moon sign is kind of like part of you under like it's a part of who you are underneath. And so sometimes like if you feel like your personalities are a little bit astray from your sun sign, it's because of your moon sign. I guess that's like the best
Interesting.
way I could describe it. So
Yeah.
my moon sign is Aries.
Oh,
And
fire.
my rising sun is Libra.
Oh.
And Libra makes sense. Um I think for me in terms of rising sun, but like yeah, Aries kind of threw me off a little bit, but sort of makes sense in some ways with like stubbornness and spontaneity. Um,
Yeah.
I would say because I feel like Capricorns are very calculated, they're very practical most of the time, but yeah, sometimes you just gotta have. Sometimes I have moments of spontaneity,
Mhm.
um, and I think that that's just fueled by Aries, I guess. I don't know. But like I said,
It's your
I don't
Aries coming
I
out.
it's just for fun. I
Yeah.
don't actually think that that's why I am the way that I am, but it's just fun to look at it. And so I was like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I will have to figure all that out for me. Um, but I'll have to do it sometime. All right. The next question I have is, ooh, what is something you admire about the other person?
Hmm.
Yes, tell me.
Let's see. Something that I admire about you is just that you have so much. I'm trying to think of the right word for it. It's not like I want to say it's like resilience, not like kind of like the ability to be able to bounce back from bad situations
Hmm.
or poor situations, I guess. And I only say this because not going to get into a lot of detail about it right now, but I mean, we could always discuss it on another podcast. But just the fact that you've gone through so much in life from childhood to being teens to being adults and now being married. There's just been a lot of things that you've personally gone through that you've shared with me. And you just had this really, really great ability to be able to bounce back from all of those things. And when I mean bounce back, it's like you have the ability to bounce back, but also the courage to be able to try again, which I think a lot of people lack and they have a hard time doing. A lot of times when people come with struggle and they are defeated or they don't get the news that
Hmm.
they want to hear, they just give up.
Yeah.
But, I've seen you keep trying and trying and trying again, um, despite all that. So that's something that I really admire about you. It's something that I think I wish I had more of. It's just more courage to just keep trying again.
Oh, thank you. I would say the thing that I probably admire most about you is like I feel like you always are so compassionate, like in terms of like compassionate and understanding. Like you you try to put yourself in the other person's shoes all the time. And I feel like I wish I was kind of more like that. Like, yes, I try to think of other people, like seeing things through other people's eyes. But I feel like for you, it's like you really sit down and like you really actually try to put yourself in their shoes and like see things through their perspectives. Um, and kind of like give them the benefit of the doubt because you are like so understanding of that. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, that's definitely something that like I admire about you is just that you're just so understanding and like I said, you just have a lot of compassion for other people and like towards helping other people, which I think it shows because obviously you're going into like a career where you're going to be helping people. So, yeah, that's definitely something that I admire about you and wish that, I had a little bit more of too. It's just like being very understanding and like, I guess, like allowing people to like voice themselves more because I want them to also like be able to like share their point of view. You know what I mean? Which I feel like you always do. You're a great listener. And like I said, you just find a way to like listen and understand the other person, even if you don't fully like, I guess, agree with it. So, yeah, that's definitely something that I admire about you. Next
Okay, so the next
question.
question, let's see. What is one thing that you would change about yourself? So we talked about the
Mm,
positives. What's something you would change about yourself?
ooh, well. Uh, I would say the thing I would change about myself is being less stubborn, and like wanting to always have my way. I wish I just like didn't have to have like that need for control in life, I guess. So that's definitely like something I wish was different about me. What about you?
Mm. I wish that I was more, not necessarily more punctual, but yes, more punctual in a sense that I just wish that and I only say this because I feel like me not being punctual has in turn sort of made me look like somebody who's unreliable. And it's not that I don't like to be there for people, but when you're constantly showing up late, which I am
Hmm.
guilty of doing a lot of times, it can kind of put a damper on like who you are as a person. I found that not only like with family and obviously with family, like I think like for you, for example, when we were
Hmm.
talking earlier about that and how you're like, yeah, like when we're together, she's always late and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of affected me professionally as well. And so that's just not something that I want tied with my who I am because I know that who I am is a generally like pretty good person.
Yeah.
But, being late all the time, not being punctual, not planning ahead, all that stuff. It can take a toll on you. It can kind of give you a reputation that is not good. So that is definitely something that I want to
Work
change and
on.
something that I'm really, really trying to work on. It's been so hard because I don't mean to run late, but I think I just have very poor time management. So I'm trying my
Yeah.
best to plan better and to be better. But that is something that I would definitely want to change about myself is to be a little bit more punctual. But we're getting there slowly, surely, hopefully.
All right. Ooh. Which year was your favorite birthday?
Last year. Yeah. Last year when I
Oh,
was in Iceland, for sure.
all right. Yeah.
But that was more like a whole like week trip. But my
Hmm.
birthday was also good too. I came back from Iceland on my birthday,
Hmm.
and then I had the layover in Seattle. That's when I met up with you and
Yeah.
Ong in Seattle. We went out to eat Din Tai Fung, and then we just like stood up the whole night. We were talking. We had some cake. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was probably one of my best birthdays so far. And I think part of it too is because I had just come back from like this really amazing solo trip, and it was just like the perfect end to the trip
Yeah.
and end to my birthday. So last year was definitely one of the better ones, I would say.
Ooh. Oh, right.
Are you surprised by that?
Uh, I honestly was like, I forgot that you went to Iceland during your birthday for a second. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But then once you mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That tracks. Because yeah, like I said, I forgot that you went to Iceland during like your birthday. So
Yeah.
yeah, because I know you went to Iceland, duh. But like I forgot that it was during that time that you went. But yeah.
Yes.
I would say for me, my favorite birthday. I honestly don't really know. I didn't really, I mean, I don't want to say my sweet 16 because like I hate the attention that I had on me. Like I'm just not that type of person, like where I love all this grand attention on me. I would probably say probably my last birthday as well this year, just because you surprised me. And I think that was like the best part is just like being surprised. Um, and then because I was like genuinely, I had a feeling that it might happen, but then I was like, nah, she's too busy. She has too much going on. Like, it's not gonna happen. But then you did end up surprising me. So I would probably say this past year. Um, yeah, because like when I think about my other birthdays, I'm more of a low key person, so I feel like nothing really like stands out to me. Like I said, I did do like a big Sweet 16, but like I said, I just don't really like all the attention on me. And then my 21st, I didn't really do go out and do like what normal 21 year olds go and do. So that wasn't really like a monumental sort of birthday for me. But maybe my 30th, I will this next one, I will do something fun. I don't know. We'll see, but maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I think we were fortunate enough to have like a lot of really cool birthdays growing up. I
Yeah.
mean, we did have our sweet 16s, and for my 21st, I didn't do anything super crazy. I just had everyone meet me up at like a bar. So
Yeah.
it was still fun, but it was it was I think like all of my birthdays are always really fun. I think like for my birthday, I'm like, yeah, it's my birthday,
Yeah.
celebrate me. I'm more like, yes, give me the love, give me the attention, because I just think if it's your birthday, you deserve it. Like you made it through another year, and you should be happy and proud of that. But I don't know. I've also told you though before too that I feel very bittersweet around my birthday as well for a
Hmm.
lot of different reasons. But one of them also just realizing like, oh, I'm getting old. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. This year I really started to realize that I'm really starting to like look my age. Like
Mm,
whereas beforehand people would be like, "Oh, like you look so young for your
right.
age." And now I actually like look my age, which is that means that you're starting to get old. So,
Yeah, unfortunately. I feel like I feel like that's well, I mean, I've always heard that like the closer you inch to 30, like the older you look or like the more you look your age, you know what I mean? But I
yeah.
also feel like I don't know, I feel like we could also still pass as like younger than we are too.
Yeah, I mean, I still get ID'd, so I
Hmm.
guess that means something.
All
So I
right.
guess that means something, right? I don't like that old, but yeah, I don't know.
Me.
It's just it feels bittersweet like
Yeah.
celebrating birthdays, but I try to like be happy though on my birthday because it's
Hmm.
like, yeah, I did it. I did the damn thing.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Hmm. Let's see. What would you do if you won the lottery?
I was literally just looking at that one on the list too. How funny. Um, we literally have like the same mind. How funny. Uh, if I won the lottery, I hmm, I would invest in a few houses in different places for sure. It doesn't have to be like a grand old house, just like a nice, decent house in different locations that like I would want to like visit often. So like I'd probably have a house on obviously on the Oregon coast. I would probably want one like in Destin, Florida. Probably want like a cabin in like Colorado or something. Maybe like an apartment in New York. I don't know. Like I
I'm
just
just gonna I'm gonna help my dog up on the
oh
bed. Hold on. Trying to get up. That's Milo, by the way. He's one of my dogs. If you didn't know that already, I have two children who are furry. Okay.
yeah. But as I was saying, yeah, that's definitely probably like one of the main things I would do. Um, and then obviously get like a bigger house here where I'm living in Oregon. But that's probably for sure something that I would do. If I had any extra money, maybe just contribute that to like having kids. Yeah. What about you?
I think very similar, I guess. I would probably try to get like a few different properties in different places.
Yeah.
I would definitely move out on my own. But probably still here somewhere in Colorado, except I would never like let anyone know where I live.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding. I think I would, but I just like I don't need a huge house either. I think I would just want like a modest size house.
Hmm.
Because if it's just gonna be me, like why would
And
I
your
want that big
dogs.
of a
Yeah.
house? Yeah,
Well, I
I
mean, and
guess.
Kylie.
Kidding. Maybe her. I don't know. And then I think what I would also do is invest, of course. I would like to donate some to a cause that is really close to me. I haven't decided which ones yet, but um, I'm very into like charity and giving back to my community. So I totally would want to do is a small portion of that
Hmm.
to give away to charity. I would probably give honestly, if I won the lottery, I don't think I would tell anybody. Like, I just feel like um, there's too many people out there who would like want to take advantage of it. I think if I ever did tell anybody, it would be people that I would know I could trust to like not say anything. Just because I just know like there's certain family members who I'm not going to name who would tell other people who are not
Hmm.
in our family about it, and then it would just kind of get around, and then I don't want someone to like kill me, like to get my money, just like it's just things like that. Money brings out the worst in people, I feel
Right. Yeah.
sometimes. And people would do anything for money, as crazy as that sounds, even people in your family. So that's why I'm
Hmm.
very hesitant to tell people that I would
Well,
be very hesitant to tell people about it.
in my opinion too, it kind of like relates to that. I also feel like some family members, especially family members, they kind of have that mindset like if like you won the lottery, like, oh, I did so
Like,
much for you in your life, like you owe me. You're kind of like
mhm.
you should want like they kind of guilt you
Or
like
it's
you
like,
should want to give
yeah,
us
like,
money.
oh, I'm your family. Why wouldn't you give
Hmm.
me money? And it's like,
Yeah.
there's to some aspect, sure, like I could understand that.
Hmm.
There's some people who really had like a good influence in our life. And if
Yeah.
it's my choice to give you money,
Hmm.
then it's my choice to do that. But if you're just like asking me for it,
Or like
that's like,
expecting it. Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah,
like
I
that's a
think
different story.
I think there's definitely like a fine line between that, but for sure I could see how it could get blurred
Yeah,
when,
but that was
you're
also
in.
part of the reason why I said if I ever got a house, I would never let anyone know where I live,
Yeah.
because I don't want someone to be like, "Hey, Hitman, this is where she lives." And let's fake a will and tell her to give all the money to me. Like, you just never know. Maybe I watch too much K dramas. I don't know, but like, I just as much as I love my family, as much as
Yeah.
I love everybody, I just like I would have one house that or one place that I
Yeah.
would have completely of my own that nobody, absolutely nobody knows about. That would not be on public record. And then one that I would have gatherings at and stuff like that, but I wouldn't actually stay there all the time. But I don't know if I'm just paranoid, like I said, or if I watch too much K dramas or what my deal is. But that's just the thing with me and it's also something you have to do to just be really careful.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do if I won the lottery. But yeah, I would travel so much more. I would still want a career with,
Hmm.
even though I won the lottery, just
Same.
because I feel like I still need to do something with myself.
Mm.
But I would definitely travel so much more. There's so many more places I want to go. And so, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, you're definitely like the travel like
I'm in my
girly.
travel girl era.
Yeah, for sure. Like
Yeah, and I'm flying first class. I'm flying,
you
I'm
probably
packing
invest
all
in
the
like your own
bags.
private jet, honestly. I feel like that's something you would do.
If I
Yeah.
could, I would totally do that. Like
Yeah.
if I really had that much money, I would do that. I would have a private chef. I would like somebody to like go get my groceries and make me food, but like good food, like food
Yeah,
that's
like
healthy for me,
healthy. Hmm.
I would want a private chef, but I love food. So like I really don't that's something I feel like I would want to invest in. If I had a pool, I would hire people to take care of it because I don't know anything about taking care of a pool. Um, I have it all like planned out sort of, but like I don't want to go too far into it because I just like, yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
All right. What is something you're passionate about that not everyone or many people know?
Hmm, I don't really know. Something I'm passionate about that not a lot of people know. I don't know. I'm passionate about a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't know. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm very into like philanthropy and giving back. Um, I do a lot of like volunteer stuff. So I don't know. I don't volunteer as much like lately, but
Hmm.
it's something I still want to continue doing. Um, hmm,
I guess giving back is yours. Like you're passionate about giving
yeah,
back.
yeah. I think like I don't know. I just like to like give back to my community. I mean, I know like maybe in a sense like I don't know. I just like to help other people, kind of
Hmm.
like what we've discussed before. And I
Yeah.
think part of that is giving back to the people who give to your community. You just never know what other people are struggling with. Somebody may have a nice life look on the outside looking in, but you don't really know
Hmm.
what they're dealing with. Like I have at my school, for example, my university, we have like a food pantry,
Yeah.
and it's just nice that they offer that because
It's free,
you're a
right?
student and you're working hard. Yeah, it's a
Oh,
free food
okay.
venture. You could just go in and get whatever you want.
Yeah.
And they don't like keep track of who's taking what. They just offer this stuff to people. And I just
Oh,
thought it was really smart because like some people do have to deal with things like that, but they're trying to go to college. They're trying to make a life for themselves, right? Like they're
right.
trying to um
They're
get
on the
themselves
struggle
educated so they
bus.
can do
Yeah.
yeah, and they're on the struggle
Yeah.
bus. I mean, I was there for like forever
Yeah.
on the struggle bus. And
Yeah.
so like some people are struggling while they're in school
Hmm.
and something as simple as food that some people take for granted other people really struggle with. So that's just
Yeah.
something that it's just little things like that, like donating clothing, or like planning events to help donate things like that. That's like something I don't think a lot of people see when they like first look at me.
Hmm. Yeah. I feel like you've always been like a giving person, but yeah, in terms of like actually like seeing you like donate to charity and things like that, or like I don't think you show that side of you enough, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you'd like to, but I just don't think you have like the capability to right now. But I know for a fact, like when and if you do have that, you definitely would.
Yeah. I think if I'm in a better financial place
Mm-hmm.
then
Yeah.
or like a more stable financial place and I had more of a routine, more time, then I
Right.
would like incorporate that more, I think.
Yeah, or make it like a thing that you do a little bit more like often, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because
I definitely know that.
I just feel like if there's anything that I want anyone to remember about me, it's that I'm a kind person.
Hmm.
Um, that I like give back, And it's not necessarily that I'm doing this for face. I do genuinely like to help care for people, but I want
Hmm.
people to be inspired by,
Right.
I want people to feel inspired to give back.
Yeah.
So that's what I would want.
Okay. I feel like for me, I don't know, probably probably I feel like I'm very passionate about like clean products, like non-toxic things. I don't
Mhm.
think, I mean, I feel like maybe like family might know this about me, but I feel like outside of our family, people don't know that about me. Is that like I'm very hyper conscious of like the things
The
we're,
environment.
yeah, the environment and like the things we put on our bodies
Mhm.
and how it affects us. Um, I'm also very passionate about like sunscreen. I was never in the past. I will say that like teenage years, I will
Yeah.
say I probably never. We used to have like a pool at our apartments. We used to always go swimming, and I didn't really apply sunblock.
I was like burnt to a crisp
Exactly. And we would go to the
bacon.
pool during the summer like every day.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I that's something I regret, but yeah, I feel like as I'm aging and as I'm older, I'm so much more passionate about that as well. So for sure, those two things is something that I just advocate for sure. Find myself like,
I can see that. I can
yeah,
see that.
I guess
Yeah.
it's like the organ, I guess, hippie in me coming out, I guess, where it's like, I'm very like, I think about health things and I think about the environment. But yeah, that's definitely something that I don't think a lot of people know about
Know about
me.
you.
Yeah.
No, I think that's actually a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know, yeah, because you're always like giving me recommendations about like, oh,
Clean
well, or I've
products.
asked you too, like, hey, like what kind of clean products do you use? And
Yeah.
how, what kind of difference does it make on you, on your body, and then on the environment and blah blah blah. Or like anytime like you drink a water bottle at somebody's house, you're like, hey, you guys got recycle? Like it's
Yeah.
just things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we love recycling, don't get me wrong. I think it's good to recycle and everything like that. But yeah, and some people are like, oh, we only cycle these things. And so,
Hmm.
just asking those little questions like being environmentally conscious, using less plastic. And
Yeah. Because I honestly feel like a lot of people don't realize these things. Like they don't realize the effect that it has on us as like people. Um, like for instance, we made a big change with like our laundry detergent. We went from like Tide, like using Tide or like the Arm& and Hammer brand of laundry detergent to like a clean, non-toxic one. And now if like we ever have to like wash our clothes with like Tide or anything strong like that, our our bodies react to it. Like we kind of break out in hives a little. So I would definitely say that that is like something that I've noticed since we've made the change. But yeah, it's just like little things like that. I don't think people realize the impact that it has on us. Um, but I'm very like do all my research and consider all things when it comes to that.
yeah. Okay, the next question, what brings you the most joy?
Ugh.
I will say, I haven't asked this question before. Like, what is the one thing that brings you the most joy? And I struggled with it quite a bit.
Yeah, this is a hard one because it's like, how do I answer it? Do I answer it like something like I th I feel like there's like multiple answers that I could go. and
Yeah.
answer it? Like,
So some examples, for example, like that
uh-huh.
I other people that I've known had answer it. Like
Yeah.
one person said, when I buy crystals,
Mm,
like that
mm.
brings me the most joy, right? Or another person said when I win like a video game, like that's what brings me the most joy. So it's like things like that.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll give you both of my answers that I'm thinking. One is like a little bit, I guess, more material or like physical things like that. And then the other is just like, you know, different. But I feel like spending time with family for sure is like something that brings me joy just because obviously I don't get that time a lot. So I really like cherish and value the moments that I do get to spend time with family. Um, but I also have been really into books. So I would say like reading a really good book is like something that brings me joy too. Yeah. What about you?
I think for me, after I thought about it some, I do have like a few different answers too. One of them
Mhm.
is definitely like the moment that I click confirm when I buy a plane ticket. And it's just like a feeling. It's like the feeling that you get after that where you're like, all right, it's done. And you're just like so excited because it just gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Um, and so I love to just like, yeah, when I'm looking at tickets, and sometimes like in my spare time, I'll just like look at flights, like, oh, is anywhere cheap I can go?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just things like that. I like to plan and invest when it comes to traveling. So yeah, the moment that and that's very specific. But yeah, the moment that I click confirm purchase and it's gone through and I have like all my confirmation stuff, that gives me so much joy. And
Mm.
usually it's because I'm going to visit somebody or
Yeah.
I'm going to do something for myself, like if I'm traveling somewhere. So
Yeah.
yeah, just that is one of the bigger things that brings me joy. And then, of course, something too that we share is the books. We both love to read. We have a little book club.
Yes.
It doesn't have a lot of people. It only has me, you, and one of our aunts in it. But
Shout out to
um,
Popa.
yes, it's just being readers. And so for me, and I like to have physical books.
Hmm.
So getting a new book, cracking it open for the
The
first
smell.
time and smelling it,
Mhm. The
that
crisp
is also something
pages.
that brings me joy. Yes,
Yeah.
crisp pages that haven't been turned yet.
Yeah.
The feeling of an actual page of a book, those are things that bring little things that bring me joy.
Yeah.
You know, but it has to be like a new book, or if it's a book that you've read before, that you really, really love and you're reading it again.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
those are rare.
Those are the
Those are
two things.
rarities.
Those are the two things I think that bring me the most
The
joy.
most joy.
Not that I don't love my family like you do, but yeah, it's just those two specific things that I could think of that it's just like, yeah, I don't know. They're things that I know that are mine, my
Yeah.
own experiences, and yeah, just bring me joy. Love it.
Okay, let's see. What does a normal day look like for you these
Okay, well,
days?
right now,
Yeah.
yes, right now, I'm in nursing school, so um, it's a lot more busy than it was
Hmm.
previously. I'm not currently working right now, so I do have a lot of majority of my time is spent on studying. So basically, I will wake up early in the morning. I will shower, get ready, go to school.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been in class for 2 days a week, but I'm there all day, basically from 9 in the
Mm,
morning to like 4:30. So
dang.
I'm in class all day, basically. Um, I come home, usually have some dinner. I'll do a little bit of studying, and then that's basically kind of like what I would do on a day that I have school. On days that I don't have school but are still during the week, like which is basically Monday and Tuesday.
Hmm.
Sometimes on Fridays, depending on if I have like if I have lab or clinicals or anything like that, then I'll usually be studying. Trying to meal prep. Meal prep is like the worst part of my week. And doing chores, taking care of my dogs. Um, I'm a sleepy girl. I like to take naps. I like to try to read in my spare time, although sometimes when I'm like reading constantly like slides and textbooks and stuff like that, I get tired of reading, so I don't want
Yeah.
to read anymore. Um, I've been trying to get into crochet, although it's been really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like what my life is like if I'm not studying. Um,
I feel like you're
yeah, it's been
definitely in a different era right now in your life. Like, I don't know, I feel like you have a lot more time, but then you also don't, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, you
yeah,
have a
no,
lot
I
more
get
time.
that.
Yeah. Like, you have a lot more time in the sense, like, you're not working all the time because I
Yeah.
feel like that was like you went through a few years where it was like you were working or like your schedule was very inconsistent. And then,
Hmm.
like, now I feel like you have a lot more time because you're not always working, but then you also don't because you're so busy, like, with school and studying and things like that, which, yeah, it can be hard to find that balance, but I think at least like on the weekends, you're able to kind of like do more things for yourself or
Yeah.
with other people, which is good.
I
Um,
think for the last year, it was nice because I was just working. I wasn't in school yet, and I had a
yeah.
normal like 9 to 5, like all my other friends. So I was able to do, I was making like a consistent amount of money, and I was able to do a lot more stuff with my friends. And
Hmm.
so that was something I really enjoyed about the last year. But now that I'm in school, I'm not working. Like I had to kind of make some sacrifices.
Yeah.
I'm not able to travel as much as I used to. I'm not able to hang out with my friends as much as we used to. Or if I do, I have to start learning how to be more like responsible when it comes to, especially when it comes to like finances.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that's been kind of hard lately with my schedule. Like you
Hmm.
said, I do feel like I have more time because I'm not working, but I have more time to study.
Yeah.
And then studying still takes up like a bunch of time. So
Yeah.
I don't know. To be fair, I did hear from my school that this summer and fall are going to be the busiest, and then after that, it's not as busy. But you're going to be on site more, doing more clinical, hands-on work.
Hmm.
So, hopefully, it won't be as like classroom dense, but it'll still be regardless like super busy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's just kind of how my days have been lately.
Yeah.
I kind of miss like not I miss having free time, but
Yeah.
you gotta sacrifice again for a few more years, and then we'll just go from there. Yeah. Yep. And then how about you? Your normal, typical day.
I feel like I have a lot more consistency in terms of like my everyday life because, like I said, you're going through a lot of different changes currently. But I feel like for me, my day to day, obviously during the weekdays, is I wake up really early for work. I like to start early and end my day early. So that way I kind of have like a full, like a full day after work to still like enjoy the day, the rest of the day, you know? So I usually will just like wake up, wash up, brush my teeth, and then I wake up on for work because like we basically kind of work at the same time. But obviously I work from home for majority of the week. So I start a little earlier than he does because he actually has to drive in. Um, and then yeah, I just start work and then I get off around like 2. And usually this is horrible. This is so horrible, but I take a nap like almost every day. And I usually nap like right after I get off of work. And I nap for like 2, sometimes 3 hours. It really just depends. I literally think something's probably wrong with me. I should go get that checked out. But
No,
I be
I was like,
sleeping.
oh, we're sleepy girlies. Like
Yeah.
it's a cute thing, but it's actually not. Like there might be something wrong with us. We should
Yes.
probably
But
go ask our doctor.
yeah. But yes, I treasure my sleep. So I will take a nap usually, and then I'll wake up And we'll usually like eat dinner, and then I will usually lately, like probably like the past few months, I've been reading. So um I usually will read, and I have like I love a good physical book as well, but I also have a Kindle because I just kind of have to think. Well, I was thinking a little bit more logistic and realistic about this, but I don't have like the room for a bunch of physical copies. So I decided to um, get a Kindle, and it's, I feel like there's perks to having a Kindle versus a physical book too. Um, but yeah, lately I've been reading on my Kindle, so I have like my whole setup. I literally have like a little clicker that turns the pages for you, and I have like a little stand. So I could
Yeah, it's
literally
a
like
little much. Just kidding.
yeah, so I literally will rot in bed and read, and then yeah, we usually just shower and call it a night, and then it just begins again. But as for my weekends, my husband obviously he works Saturdays. So I get to sleep in, which is nice. So I sleep in, and then I'll usually, if I'm up, I will read. Uh, and then usually when Owen gets home, we like to go out and have like a nice date night for the most part, whether that be like we go out, like actually go out of the house, or if it's we're just staying at home and watching like catching up on like Netflix shows or things like that, or watching like the latest movies and stuff. But yeah, I feel like I live a pretty boring life, I'm not gonna lie. But I feel like I'm okay with it. I think that's why like earlier, like like you were saying, you were telling me like, oh, you should be more spontaneous, you should like go out more, do more things for yourself, things like that. And maybe I should, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just very much like a homebody. So, yeah.
Next question. If you could meet anyone, who would it be and why?
Ooh, I feel like maybe our answers might be the same for this.
Maybe.
Um, Not that I haven't met this person, but I feel like our dad, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I for sure would say our dad, only because, like I said, it's not that we haven't met him, but I just feel like we didn't really get to know him.
Yes. Yeah. We were both just like so young when he
Hmm.
passed away. Um, that like even though like you said you met him, you were still so young that you don't remember like you don't really remember him, you know. And I was
Yeah.
only like a baby, so I don't know. It would just be really nice to actually know who he is,
Hmm.
and like what he was like. I don't know. I've always wanted to know that.
Yeah, like I feel like without a doubt, like if anyone was to ever ask me this question, like I'm not looking to sit down with a celebrity. I'm not looking to like, you know,
Meet a famous like historical
yeah, like
figure or like you know.
yeah, for me it's without a doubt always going to be dad, just because we never, really got to have that relationship with him, like
Mhm.
normal, daughters have with their dads. And so I feel like um like you said, since he passed when we were both so young, that like I honestly don't really remember any of the moments that I had with him. There's photos and stuff like that, but I think it'd just be nice to like sit down, hug him, and like have a conversation with him,
Mhm.
you know, like you said, to just kind of get to know him and like,
Yeah. I mean, because you can only hear stories for so
mhm,
long, right? Like,
yeah.
we have grown up, heard so many things about our dad, and I think it's great that so many people tried to give us an idea of who he was, but it's completely different from actually knowing who he was.
Yeah.
So I think that, yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too. I was like, I have a feeling we're the same person.
Yeah, I already knew too. Like right when you asked that, I was like, we're gonna say the same thing. But I just think
Yeah.
that's just anyone like that has, a parent or like somebody close to them pass when they're so young, I think, or maybe not even when they're young. Like, I just think anyone that's passed, I think you're gonna want to like connect with them first above all,
Mhm.
above
Yeah.
other people.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I just think it would be nice to just like even if it was just like a 1 hour meeting, like I think that in itself would mean so much. And I definitely feel like, yeah, an hour is not really a lot of time when you think about it, but I feel like when it comes to like being able to like meet with somebody that like you don't have here in the real world, um it means a lot, and
Mhm.
so I definitely, dad is for sure like the one that I would want to meet and see.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. 100%.
Yeah, because like you said, everybody talks about him all the time, and they talk about their own experiences with him and things like that. And yeah, it's nice to hear. And it's not that I doubt what
Yeah.
they're saying about him. It's just it would be nice to have like our own experiences or like
Or to just hear
um
it from him ourselves,
yeah,
like how, like what different memories he had of us, right?
right.
Because there's only so much that people can see that they can say about what they saw him do, and things like that, or only so much that you could read, like us reading his journals. And I just always like smiled and lit up whenever I saw our names and like his journals and stuff like that. Him
Mm-hmm.
saying that he took us to the mall to like go trick or treating or like, things like that. Little things always like brought me the most joy. But I always wanted to hear more. I wanted to hear more and know more about
Yeah.
his experiences with us. Although,
Yeah.
some of them were hard, I think, like reading through them and looking back and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
just wanted to hear from him, like the good things that he experienced with us too.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was always nice reading those little excerpts from his journals and
Yeah, see, that's
um,
that's the thing. You actually read his journals. I have not read his journals.
mhm,
I've only read his letters to us.
mhm.
Um, those are the only things that I have. So I will probably, I mean, I don't know why I've never read his journals. Maybe I just wasn't ready for it. I don't know.
Yeah. I
But
mean, I've always offered to let other people read them,
mhm,
but I just think like you have to be ready to do it.
mhm. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, a lot of it doesn't have a lot of us in it.
Yeah.
A lot of it just kind of had to do with like what he was dealing with at the time.
Yeah.
But like, like I said, the little excerpts here and there that I read of us, a lot of times they were happy memories. But
Mhm.
I still wish there was more.
Yeah. Like I think in his letter to us, like he kind of talked about an experience or like a memory that he had with me where it was like I said something to him to like because he was like upset or something, and I was trying to like console him, but it's like I just don't have recollection of that. And honestly, I don't really have a lot of recollection of like my childhood in general.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if it's just because age or if it's trauma and I blocked out a lot of it. Um, but yeah, I don't have any memory really of dad, which is sad. Like I only live those memories like through photos, you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it would be nice to like sit down, have a conversation with him, and like just be able to like hug him,
Hmm.
because we didn't get that. So,
Or if we did, we don't remember
right,
like
right.
fully.
Yeah.
So yeah, agreed. Definitely agree.
Okay, let's see. Okay, speaking of childhood, what is your favorite? childhood memory with each other?
Hmm. Well, I will say when it comes to like our actual grade school childhood,
Mm-hmm.
we did spend a lot of that with our dad's side.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say like a lot of our actual true childhood memories were with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Something I feel always there's a few of them I think that stick out to me. A lot of it has to do with like our aunties and our uncles like taking us out to do stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
like going on bike rides around the neighborhood, or even if it's just them like watching us ride our bikes around
Yeah.
the block. Um, we call it the block because it's literally like just a
A
big
loop.
circle
Yeah.
around our neighborhood. So our childhood neighborhood. So it was always fun. Or you know, us always going to like each other's sporting events. Like I would play softball, you guys would come watch my softball games. You would
Mm-hmm.
play volleyball, I would always go to your volleyball games.
Yeah.
Us going camping every year for Memorial Day with like our dad's side. That was always a thing that we did at Lake McConaughey. We would always go swimming at the beach. We would go fishing and do all that stuff. So I don't know. These are like just things that I remember. We had like this huge backyard. We would always jump on a trampoline. Um, we had a sandbox and play Mong Tai Te.
Yeah.
It was like, or we would play Fear Factor and we would like challenge each other to like go across the playground and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So just little things like that. I think something though, now that I think about it, speaking of the backyard, that really sticks out to me was one year it snowed like crazy a lot.
Oh my gosh, I
And
remember
it
this
was
too.
literally like it was literally taller than me, but like
Mm-hmm.
we were obviously school was canceled and like that. So we all went to the backyard and we all like all the aunties and uncles and the kids went to the backyard and we had like this huge snowball fight. Everyone
Yeah.
made forts.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much fun. I don't know. That's just something that I'll always remember is being in the backyard with that much snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Wow.
I don't know if it's necessarily with us each other, but it's just
Yeah.
something that I
A
remember
good
like
childhood memory.
with
I mean,
our dad's
it's
side.
not like
So
I
yeah.
wasn't there. I was also there too. So I guess it
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like us together.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that just the nostalgia. It makes me happy.
Yeah. And so that's like when I think about childhood, it's like when we were in grade school. And then obviously
Hmm.
when we got to like our preteens and mid-teens, we were more close with like our mom's side. And so
Hmm.
we have separate memories, I think, with them.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, when I think of like true childhood memories, that's what I think of. Mhm.
Okay. I will say the one memory. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. Um, but there is one memory that I do remember having with you. And it was like uh we were on the swings at their old house in the backyard and we we were talking about Hmong names and then like because obviously we don't have Hmong names. We weren't given Hmong names. And so I remember asking you like what your Hmong name would be. And
Uh,
then yeah, I what wasn't it like Bayang Cha, right?
yeah. So
Yes.
the story behind that is I used to watch like Paul's old Hmong movies.
Yeah.
And there was like this girl that I really liked, and her name was Bayang Cha. So like that was that was one of the main reasons why I really, really love that name. I don't love it anymore for other reasons, but
Yeah.
yeah, but that was like one of the main reasons that I really loved that name is because of that. And I remember yours too,
I don't
your
remember
Hmong
what I
name that
said
she
to you.
you wanted yours to be Gao Shang from freaking Autumn in My Heart.
Oh, well, you know what's funny? I think isn't that like one of like our cousins' Hmong names? I forget.
It's not Gao Shang, no,
Oh,
but it's
well, yeah, that was like the hit movie, Korean drama dubbed Hmong.
dubbed
So,
Hmong. Yes. I know. I was like, okay. I was like, you, but we
You
both did
basic
it based
fish.
off of, we both did it based off of like
Movies.
movies and people that we like because we didn't have any reference, I
Yeah, and I feel
guess.
like
So,
anybody with a Hmong name, we knew them. So it was like,
yeah.
but I remember when,
We're like, oh, we don't want the same name as that person,
yeah, but I do remember when we were discussing this. This is nasty now that I think about it, but we would take like the rocks, like the gravel from this, like under the swing sets, and like put it in each other's hair, and then like I would like put it in your hair, and then like pick it out.
I
So
actually remember this too, strangely enough. Like,
yeah,
we're nasty, okay?
yes,
We're nasty, dirty kids. Truly playing Mong Tai Tai. Like,
yes.
we're not even kidding. No, I remember, yeah, you doing this, and I was just kind of like, okay, weirdo, but
Yeah, like I
I'll
would
let
dump
you.
it on your literally handful, dump
Yeah,
it in your
because
head, and then
it
pick it
wasn't
from
like
your scalp.
sand; it was literally like
Yeah,
gravel.
like very tiny little
Like,
rocks.
yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know, you
definitely
weird.
that's like
But
the
I remember
memories.
this too. I remember
Yeah.
this too. Yeah. And then
Okay.
another thing that I will say that I remember is us like I remember in the backyard in the sand lot
Hmm.
there was a frog. It's
Oh
like a
my God, I
toad.
was literally just gonna say this.
Yes, because when you talk about the sand, it made me think of this. There
Yes.
was a toad. So we dug a hole
Uh-huh.
and well we dug like a few holes and then we were just like whatever, So we went to the sand
Hmm.
lot and then I remember like I forgot who it was, but somebody looked in there and they thought it was a rock. But it was actually like a toad.
Hmm.
And so it like flew out of the thing and we were like all of
Yeah.
us were freaking out. And then we had this old teapot. Okay, it was like a big teapot that held a teapot set, like a big princess
Yeah. It's
teapot.
like
And
a toy. Hmm.
inside there were a bunch of like little plates and teacups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But all of that was gone. It was just the big teacup that was holding it all.
Like the
So I
holder.
remember,
Yeah.
I think it was Popa or Purua, one of them. They took it and they put it over the frog to like
Really? I
catch
thought it
it.
I remember it being ball.
No, it was one of the
Uh
aunties
Which, by the way,
because
guys, if you don't know what ball means, ball it means grandma in our language. So yeah, when you hear
yes,
ball, it means grandma.
yes.
But
Or if you
anyway,
hear us say like Po, oh, we're talking
yeah,
about our aunties. These are aunties on our dad's side, so we're saying like Po Ba. It's like auntie Ba,
yeah,
auntie Dua. So
yeah,
just so you get, if you guys aren't Hmong and you're listening to this,
yeah. If you're like
um,
Confucian, you know,
so I'm pretty sure it was either push or Ba, but they took this big like teacup, plastic teacup, and they put it over the frog to like catch it.
uh-huh.
And then we turned it over and put a lid on it. And then we took it to the pond and we released it. But we
Yeah.
don't know how the heck it got there.
I honestly have no idea how it got into our backyard either because it's not like there was really like a pond or a creek close by either.
Not that close by. I mean, we had to
Yeah.
bike ride to like the closest
Yeah.
place.
So I don't know. It's definitely weird. I know eventually later on too, like when we moved out of that house, and like my grandma and them were basically Paul and them were still living there, there was like a bear in the neighborhood too.
I heard about that too.
Yeah, which was
Yeah.
just
And I was like, we're not even
crazy
that close to
to the
like
mountains.
Boulder.
Yeah, but
And I also remember the cat, um, and the birds, the baby birds.
I don't
Remember in the birch
recall.
trees? Oh my God. Okay, so
Oh,
in the
oh, I
birch
remember those.
trees,
I remember the birds
yeah,
in
so
the
in
in
the birch
aspen trees.
trees,
Yeah,
yeah, oh yeah, that whatever.
aspen.
Birch
Uh-huh.
are they the same? I don't know. The aspen trees. So there was a bird that had built a nest in one of the trees.
Hmm.
And then we heard the baby birds, and so all of us and we're like, oh my God, there's baby birds, amazing. And then the next day, literally, they were all gone. And we're
Hmm.
like, oh my God, what happened to all of these birds? And then there were like little baby feathers like on the ground next to it. And then we found out that the stupid next door neighbor cat ate them.
Oh,
Oh my God.
yeah, I remember those birds.
That
I just
traumatized me.
yeah, for sure. I don't know. We'll definitely have to like talk and have like another segment of like
More
or like a
childhood
full episode
memories.
of like our childhood memories because I feel like there's just so much to
There's too
unpack.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I said, I don't have recollection of like every little memory, but the ones that I do, I feel like it'd just be fun to like reminisce on for sure.
for sure.
All right, let's see. I think it's
My
your turn
turn.
to ask.
Okay. How often do you guys talk and how often do you guys visit each other?
Ooh, uh, we talk like once a month, I would say. Like we try to
On
talk at least once a month.
average.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like actually sit down and talk, like FaceTime or like phone call talk once a month. But
Mhm.
like we're always like messaging each other, texting each other, sending each other Snapchats. So,
Yeah.
but like actually sit down, have a conversation, kind of recap like everything that's been happening. It's probably like once a month. I feel like we try to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'd say that on average. Or like if we know something's coming up, then we're
Mm-hmm.
like an event, then
Mm-hmm.
we'll talk after that.
Yeah, we're like, ooh, you
Like,
gotta come spill the tea on like
yeah,
what happened at
yeah.
that,
Like let me
I don't
know.
know, event for
Yeah.
sure.
Let me know if anything happens. Like it's just things like that. Like we
Yeah.
try to do that at least once a month. But yeah, we do talk. We'll send each other like memes or like reels or
Hmm.
things like that.
Yeah.
Um over Messenger. So that's how.
Yeah.
And then in terms of visiting each other, I think Jean visits here way more, but it's mostly because our family is like all here in
Hmm.
Colorado. And so when she comes to visit everyone, like she gets to see everybody
Yeah.
versus it's a lot harder for everybody to make it up there.
Hmm.
And so yeah, Jean comes to visit. Last year she visited more often. Um, and then yeah, I visited her last March for her birthday. So that was the last time we saw each other in person.
Yeah.
So I would say like we try to see each other like once or twice a year. It's just last year it was a little bit more,
Yeah,
but yeah.
for sure. I feel like for me, it's easier, like you said, for me to go out there and visit our family because, like I said, well, like you said, like I'm able to see both sides of our family when I'm there and
Mm-hmm.
spend time with both of our sides. But I also think like obviously when family comes here, it's a little bit harder for them because we don't have like our own house, and the house that we are in is like I would say it's on the smaller side. So we're not able to host and like accommodate our large families because like we have a lot of families. So, we're not
Mm-hmm.
able to really host a lot of people here. And so then they would have to like get a hotel and then obviously like get a rental. And so it's just a lot more like money in terms of like having family come out here to visit. Um, but it's not to say that none of my family hasn't come up here to visit. They have. It's just easier for me to go out there, which I don't mind. Anytime that I get the opportunity or like the chance to go out and visit, um, I I'm ready to jump on board and go. Like literally, I was thinking about coming for the It Ends With Us premiere.
Mm-hmm.
And then during that weekend, it's also like um Purua's birthday, Lisa's kind of near like Lisa's birthday. So I was like thinking about it, but things are still kind of up in the air over here. So I don't know yet. But if I do, it'll probably be like really last minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
Yeah.
try to see each other, like I said, at least once a year. If if I'm not preoccupied, I usually like to go during like Thanksgiving. That's usually like the time I like to
Mm-hmm.
go and visit because we can't come during like actual Christmas and stuff because Ong his work is like not it, basically they block out those dates, so we can't come during that time, and he's very adamant about like wanting to spend Christmas together because that's like his absolute favorite holiday. So I wish I could spend like at least a Christmas and like a New Year over there at least like once, but it just doesn't work out with our schedule. So usually that's why I pick Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Ooh, what are your favorite TV shows slash movies?
Mm. I think compared to you, I don't watch as much like TV
Yeah,
series. I mean, I will if I'm super invested into it. That's why I don't watch a lot of TVs because if I sit down to like watch a series, I will binge it and I will nothing else will matter.
yeah.
And I'm just not at a point in my life right now where I can afford to do that. And so I don't watch a lot of TV, but everybody on this world, I think, knows who knows me knows that I love Harry Potter, all things Harry Potter. When it's on TV and it just happens to be playing, it's like, even if it's just background noise, it's just always on. So
Yeah.
I love Harry Potter, anything Harry Potter. I love, the movies. I'm starting to get back into like the books. And so, yeah, that's kind of like if I had to say what my favorite movie series or,
Hmm.
what is it when it's like more than four? I don't know. Yeah, series, whatever. I probably would be Harry Potter
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I
Back in the
think
day,
that's pretty
you would have
expected of
said
me.
Twilight.
Maybe. Yeah, I might have said Twilight. Um, I know for like a little while it was The Blind Side,
Wow, really?
surprisingly.
That's
Yes, I
I
really
didn't even
liked
know
that
that.
one. I really liked that one when it first came out, especially. Not that I don't like it, it's just that the story behind it I thought was really inspiring.
Hmm.
Also because it like goes hand in hand with what we were talking about earlier with me like in charity and
Yeah.
um, you know,
I
stuff
heard
like
that
that.
there was
So,
like a
but
scandal with that.
there
I
was
didn't
for
really
some
like read into
time.
it. Yeah, but I heard.
Yeah, yeah, there was with the real
Hmm.
family that it was based like who that the story was based off of.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
yeah, and then a little bit with Sandra Bullock, who was like the main character in that, but that didn't really she wasn't really like a part of it. She just happened to get associated with it because she played the role of the person that it was about. But
is
like,
involved in it.
but
Oh,
I just thought it was kind of dumb that people like I'm like, she's just an actress. She doesn't
yeah,
actually have anything to do with the family, so just let it go. But
yeah.
yeah,
Interesting.
I really liked that one though when it first came out. That was my favorite for a while. And then, but yeah, I would say Harry Potter though is definitely my OG.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
very much love Harry Potter as well. Um, I'm not, I mean, I'm into reading, but I don't think I would read those books just because, like, they're too long. I don't know.
Not
I don't know.
that
We'll
long.
see. Maybe I will eventually get down to it or, get to it. But uh, I will say something different since you already said that. Um, I really like Vampire Diaries. Like, it's kind of cringe now that I like, because Vampire Diaries is like one that I will constantly like rewatch or have on rotation, just like in the background because, I work from home. So I like to have like TV shows on the side on like playing on my iPad just to kind of help pass the time. And so that's like one of them that I will like constantly rewatch. It is a little cringe when I actually think about it, but I feel like I also really like the storyline too. So that's one that I really like. I do really like kind of sitcoms or like funnier things like Jane the Virgin. I don't know if you've seen that, but
Mm-mm. Not that
yeah,
one.
that one's like cute. It's like cute, but like kind of cringe too. But it's just like, yeah, I like things to just help pass the time. I'm also very big on like true crime. And sometimes I really hate myself for that because um I am also a chicken. So like I'll watch
Yeah.
these things and then I'll get paranoid and stuff, but it's just so interesting, like fascinating too. Um but yeah, and then I feel like those are like my solids in terms of like TV, but like movies, um ooh, excuse me. Um, movies. I really love the movie Coco, the Disney movie Coco.
Mhm.
I really love Inside Out. I feel like those and Zootopia. Yeah. So like some Disney movies I really like. But yeah.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with Disney or Pixar.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, those are always good. But yeah, in terms of TV, I don't really feel like I watch a lot of TV. I did watch The Office during COVID because I was bored.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing. It was actually really funny.
I
Um,
see so many memes of The
maybe not so much
Office.
for today's audience, but it's
Yeah.
so fun. I thought it was hilarious. I really
Oh,
like it.
oh, another one. Sorry, another classic is
Friends.
Friends. Yes.
Friends. Oh my God. Yes.
Yes. Um, yes,
That's it.
Friends. I've not seen The Office. I keep telling Owen we need to like get on it, but we don't have like any of the platforms that it's available on. So I'm like, but yeah, for sure. I need to watch that one because there's just so many memes, like I said, and just scenes that I've seen, like snippets that I'm like, oh my God, that's freaking hilarious, you know? But yeah,
Yeah, The Office was pretty funny. And then yeah, Friends, I'll just sometimes if I need something to watch, then I'll just have it on in the
yeah,
background or something when I'm studying. Okay. In your opinion, what is the best season of the year?
through and through, I am a fall girly. I hate the heat. I hate the heat. I hate all of it. So, um, I hate the sun. My ideal like weather and season is like cloudy, a nice brisk and crisp fall air, breezing through, orange leaves. It's just like comfy, cozy vibes. I genuinely love the rain. Um, so yeah, I'm definitely a fall girl. What about you?
Yeah, I think, well, I'm also a fall girly. I think I just like like you said, the vibe of fall. It's not too hot, not too cold. I like more of
Yeah,
a um, rainy season, not snowy season,
yeah.
not too hot, like 104 degrees season. Um, just enough that you could wear. And I just feel like the best clothes are in the fall.
Hmm.
So I like fall for that reason. I also like that it's Halloween. It's a little spooky, a little misty, colorful though. Like, I don't know. I
Yeah,
just love it. I do also like spring though, very close second.
yeah.
Um, I just like seeing everything come back to life, but spring also gives me the worst allergies. So, that's why it's not my favorite.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. The last question we're gonna do is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I 5 years. I'm hoping to have more stability in my life. So I'll be done with nursing school. I do want to eventually go on to get my nurse practitioner, hopefully. I
Hmm.
guess we'll just kind of see though. I do want to practice as a nurse for a few years, maybe just to get some experience and kind of actually want to see if I really want to pursue an NP degree or maybe I want to go somewhere else with like my BSN degree. So,
Hmm.
but I do want to have more stability. I want to be moved out of this house.
Hmm.
Um, I want to have traveled to a lot more places.
Yeah.
Just to be a lot more like independent. I'm not saying that I'm not independent
Hmm.
now, but I would like to be much more independent on my own,
Yeah.
living for myself with a man. um, but we'll
What is
see
in store for
what
you?
life gives me, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the main things I think that I would want in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, kids, I would love to have kids within the next 5 years. I'm okay staying in this house, but it would be nice to move if we could. But I just don't, realistically, I don't think that that's going to happen, not with this market. But for
Mhm.
sure, I think kids, I think that's the big one for me. But yeah, All right. Well, it looks like we have made it to the end of this first episode. So if you've made
Mhm.
it this far, thank you for tuning in. Um,
Yep. So just stay
and
tuned for our next episode.
yes.
We're going to get into our first segment, which is all about relationships. We're going to be breaking that segment up into 3 different episodes. So stay tuned.
Yeah. All right.
And
Bye.
until
Until then,
then,
bye,
bye,
babe.
babe.